Hello, partners, and welcome to that very special church dedicated to St. Mary and All Saints in Fotheringhay, Northamptonshire. No, not Fotheringhay with an H, as desired by a lot of BBC presenters, but as the locals describe it, Fotheringhay. And we're going to keep it as Fotheringhay. Simon Jenkins, in his book England's 1,000 Best Churches, describes it thus. On a warm summer's day, Fotheringhay is a magic place. The church seems to float on its hill above the River Nene, a galleon of perpendicular on a sea of corn. The octagonal tower piles into the sky on its square base, dominating a structure that seems entirely of glass. The aisle windows of Fotheringhay have tracery of the most refined delicacy. Here rests the memory of Fotheringhay's tragic heroine, Mary, Queen of Scots, beheaded in the adjacent castle on the orders of Elizabeth I. Today, the fears and rivalries of those times are remembered only in the shields and heraldry that crowd the nave interior. The sad castle has vanished. The Duke of Northumberland, who demolished the collegiate buildings and had the east end of the church taken away, leaving these massive balustrades of support at the far end. As a stroke of personal interest here, I used to teach the daughter of the farmer whose land the last remnants of the castle still remain. And it became quite a local feature because they couldn't do anything with it because badgers had decided to occupy it as their own fortress. As you'll see later in a model inside the church, what we see here is only half of the original collegiate foundation formerly inside the castle. Unlike with normal parish churches, you have a wonderful east end window. The most attractive window at Fotheringhay is in the west end, the tower end. Here is a broad west doorway. Under the tower is this beautiful fine fan vault culminating in a falcon and fetterlock, the emblem of the Yorkist faction, triumphant at the time of its insertion. The expanse of what would have once been the chancel arch is now a blank white wall with small windows to the top of it. Its patron was Edward, 2nd Duke of York, who fell at Agingcourt in 1415, and with the new college still under construction, he was now buried in the vanished choir, with the nave not being completed for nearly 20 years later. the responsibility for cutting the college literally in half. And if you look at the model, it virtually is completely in half, came from Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, during the dissolution. This is the Richard III chapel, installed in 1974, a generous gift from the Richard III Society. It incorporates the arms of King Richard and also his Queen, Anne Neville. Richard was born in Fotheringhay Castle, and although he was reburied in Leicester Cathedral in 2015, clearly Fotheringhay had a good case to be the proper burial place for the last Plantagenet, because he was born here, his great uncle is buried here, as were his parents and his elder brother Edmund. Here on the right is a blocked up window and doorway which once led into a covered passageway connecting the church with the cloisters beyond. Above and between the pillars of the nave are the coats of arms of many of the lords of the manor of Fotheringhay who contributed to the development of this royal village. Now, I'm not normally one for pulpits, but this is a superb work, supposedly donated by Edward IV, who reigned England between 1461 and 1483. Above, it has a rib-vaulted tester and red, green and gold panels displaying the polychromy of a late medieval church. Sadly, Edward died at the relatively young age of 40, probably from pneumonia. Here in the small sanctuary we have two Renaissance monuments to the founders of the college and the builders of the church, and they were erected as the result of Elizabeth I's insistence on a visit in 1573 that tombs formerly in the tower be relocated in the parish church. They commemorate the two Dukes of York, the second Duke and founder, and Richard, the third Duke, who was killed in the Battle of Wakefield in 1459. It was said that the rather corpulent Duke died when he fell from his horse and was trampled underfoot. This surviving nave is high and short, with 5 bays. Since being found in that car park, the church at Fotheringhay has recently become a Yorkist shrine. The font is from the 15th century and stands under the eastern arch of the tower. It's a panelled bowl carved with foliage and grotesque heads. The font cover is constructed from two misericord seats, once in the choir of the original church. On top of the tower is the lantern, this octagonal building in which a lamp was lit to guide hunters and travellers emerging from Rockingham Forest across the marshy ground which surrounded the village. Along the upper side you can see the four-light clerestory or clerestory windows. Thank you for watching this short film of the Church of St Mary and All Saints in Fotheringhay, Northamptonshire.